Once upon a time in the land of history, there was no such thing as democracy. People lived under the rule of kings, queens, emperors, and pharaohs. These rulers had absolute power, and the common folk had little say in how things were run. But as time marched forward, a spark of an idea began to flicker in the hearts of some brave individuals. Ancient beginnings, c. 500 BCE. The concept of democracy took its first baby steps in ancient Greece. In a city called Athens, a man named Cleisthenes came up with a wild idea. He thought that maybe, just maybe, regular people should have a say in how the city was governed. And so, the first democratic government was born. Citizens gathered in a place called the assembly to discuss and vote on important decisions. It was like the world's first town hall meeting. The Roman Republic, c. 509 BCE. Democracy's influence spread to Rome, where they established a republic. Citizens could elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. It was a bit like choosing your spokesperson in a game of telephone. Medieval monarchs, Middle Ages. Democracy took a bit of a nap during the Middle Ages in Europe. Kings and queens ruled supreme, and peasants didn't have much say. But seeds of democracy were still alive in some places. The Magna Carta, 1215 in England, rebellious barons forced King John to sign the Magna Carta, a fancy document that said even kings had to follow the rules. This was like putting a leash on royal power. The Enlightenment, 17th and 18th centuries. Thinkers like John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau started stirring the democratic pot. They talked about natural rights and the idea that governments should exist to protect people's freedoms. This got folks thinking. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. Across the pond, in what would become the United States, the colonists were tired of being bossed around by a faraway king. They declared independence and wrote the Declaration of Independence, declaring that all men are created equal, with certain unalienable rights. The U.S. Constitution followed, establishing a federal democracy where citizens elect leaders. The French Revolution, 1789. France decided to join the Democracy Party. They overthrew their king and wrote a fancy document called the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Liberty, equality, and fraternity became their rallying cry. The spread of democracy, 19th and 20th centuries. Democracy wasn't content with staying put. It spread like wildfire to countries around the world. More and more nations held elections and gave their citizens a voice. Modern democracy. Today, democracy has taken many forms. There's direct democracy, where citizens vote on laws themselves, and representative democracy, where elected officials make decisions on our behalf. We've even got social media and the internet to help us discuss and decide on important issues. But democracy isn't without its challenges. There are debates about who gets to participate, how money influences politics, and how to balance individual rights with the needs of the community.